I've got another doozy of an estranged parent, and we're going to answer her questions together. Answer them in the comment section. I'm obviously going to answer them out loud. Let's get into it, shall we?
I have a question for all the estranged children out here. The ECs, the EDs, the DCs, whatever you want to call yourselves. What are you angry about? What are you angry about? Why are you angry that there are women out here helping your mothers give you exactly what you want? Why are you angry that they are helping your mothers do what you asked them to do? You wanted to go no contact. You wanted them out of your lives. You wanted them to leave you alone. You wanted absolutely positively nothing to do with them. So why are you angry? Why are you coming out in the comments? Why are you raging the way that you are when there are women simply helping your mothers give you exactly what you wanted? You got to make it make sense. Come on. See you in the comments.
I actually think she's doing this just for views. See you in the comments section. She's liking the drama-rama, right? That's just my point of view. Can you hear her anger? And the projection of that? She's sounding like she's the one who's angry. So if you're an estranged adult child, are you angry? It's okay if you are. I mean, I was for a long time until I realized that my mother would love that I was angry because that meant she still had control over my emotional well-being. And once I figured that out, that she was out there doing her thing and didn't give me a second thought, it was like, oh my gosh, she's getting another chunk of my life. But I did have my time of being angry because I was really hurt. So as an estranged adult child who's, you're in your no contact place in life, what is your emotional state over where you're at? Just leave a comment because I'm also curious where you're at, because knowing where you're at, then I can make videos for you, the things that you're looking for. And to say that the estranged parents are giving us exactly what we want is one of the most ignorant things I've heard as of late. And I never used to engage with this content, and now I know why. Because it's just mind-boggling and it's so obviously invalidating. And for me personally, I was estranged from my daughter at one point in time. So I'm over 30 years estranged with my mother. And then my daughter estranged from me as I passed down trauma to her. I was 17 when I had her. I was emotionally immature and a child. Not her problem. That's my problem. That was for me to solve before having a baby, right? So none of that came into play when we were able to heal our relationship. It was all eyes on my daughter and what can I do to help you heal, because it was my job to show up whole. None of the stuff that happened to me is anything that should be my daughter's concern. It just isn't. And that's why we're no longer estranged, right? Because it's called accountability. It's called love. It's called wanting to heal her wounds. It's called, I know that I did things I shouldn't have done. And even if I didn't remember something the way that she did, that meant nothing to me. She was hurt by it. That's valid. End of story, right? So when a person like this comes online and says, you're getting exactly what you want, you're no contact, and we're forming a community and we're respecting your boundaries. Fucking finally, you're respecting our boundary of the actual no contact. And many of them don't. We do know that, right? It's like, could you have maybe respected the boundary when we were in the relationship with you, or I should say boundaries? Because that was a part of what we needed. It wasn't even about want. And if you had, well, if your estranged parent had respected your boundaries, let's say that they never took accountability, would you still be in a relationship with them? If they respected your boundaries and created safety in present time, meaning they also weren't sabotaging your relationship, smear campaigning you, all the things, would you still be in a relationship with them? And would that have been your preference? It certainly would have been my preference. No contact isn't a choice. It's the only option we have left outside of being re-traumatized over and over and over again and living in a relationship that is destroying our soul and any possibility of growing self-esteem and even having healthy relationships. And this thing about, them forming a community and they're helping one another. Well, that is something to be angry about because they're not helping one another. What they're doing is solidifying the bad behavior, the estrangement. They are, kind of misery loves company sort of thing. They're not growing as human beings. They're denying any trauma was caused. They're saying they were a good parent. It's not about being a good parent. It's about being a healthy person. We weren't perfect and how disrespectful you estranged children are. They're saying and doing things that double down on their own bad behaviors and building a community out of it. And it's frustrating. I personally am angry about it because I'm recognizing more and more as I engage with this content, and by engage, I mean I watch it. I don't comment. I don't connect with any of the, I don't. And so many of them have me blocked and I've never even seen their content. What bothers me is that these type of people who say that they're forming a community to give the estranged children exactly what they want, they are actually victimizing and gaining supply from very vulnerable people, because not all estranged parents were actually narcissistic abusers. Some of them were emotionally immature, and actually, if they found a community where somebody was saying, you're estranged, and if you can take some accountability and look inside yourself and let's all heal together, and these are some of the mistakes I made, share your mistakes. Let's see how we can come together as a community to help estranged parents to heal, live their best life, and also be in a position that if their adult child comes back, they can repair that relationship if that's something that they want to do. But what these people are doing is they're forming a community, doubling down on toxicity and abuse, and also victimizing one another. So I think that might be something to be frustrated and angry about. I'm not angry about it personally. I am frustrated about it, and I'm sad. I'm sad for all the relationships out there that are going to be no contact forever when maybe they didn't have to be. Because none of us are getting what we want. We all lost here. Mothers lost their daughters because they don't want to grow and be safe human beings. And daughters, a lot of us didn't have mothers in the first place in terms of what a mother's love feels like. I'll never know what that feels like. I'll never experience that. And in my adult life, I don't have a mom. I don't have a mother. I don't see who's winning here. Maybe my children are winning. I guess I'm winning in the respect of, I was able to grow myself up after my mother tried to destroy me and be my own good mom. I guess that's definitely a win. But this is not my preference. Is it yours? So what do you think? Answer some of her questions. I'm really interested to hear everybody's perspective. And if there's something or somebody you would like me to cover, please let me know in the comments section. Thank you for being here. And by the way, to my estranged parents out there who want to have a shot at living a better life and actually repairing your relationship with your adult children, you're welcome here. I was, like I said, I think I said it in this video, I make lots of videos. My own daughter didn't talk to me for quite some time, and that was on me. I did say it in this video. Sorry, lost track a little. Blonde. Anyway, I'm not the end-all be-all. I'm certainly not a perfect person. I definitely created a situation where my own child didn't want to have a relationship with me. And that being said, it's been 20 years that we have been in a relationship. And the estrangement lasted 2 or 3 years. She calls me for parenting advice. So I would like to, so basically what I'm telling you is it's gone full circle. And if you're going to look for some sort of community so that you don't feel alone in this experience, look for estranged parents out there who have actually repaired their relationships, or at least don't speak this kind of speak. Because this is damaging. This is just giving you permission not to look at yourself. And you know what? It's hard to look at ourselves sometimes, and I get that. I also get that you can do hard things. I can do hard things. And that doing hard things is worthwhile.